Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the globe. I know you're going to be catching this on the recording as well. So we always want to welcome those who are sleeping and can't make it to these sessions. We get it. It is a global business. And just wanted to welcome everybody who showed up live as well. Nelson, you're always in early. It's so awesome. Esther as well. Lewis, welcome. So we have, what do we have? Ghana, we have US, we have Panama. That's in this group right now. So where's our Canadians? So we have who else do we have?
We have Tia. Welcome, Tia. We have Ronald. We have
Ronald. Welcome, Lou. Lou, welcome to the group and to this session. Octave, welcome. Co-working Net. I'm not sure who that is, but if you want to put your name, it's always great to know who your name is, not just company names. Richard, welcome. David, welcome. Trooper, I love your interactive connections on the Facebook group. So important to recognize everybody and not just team members, because we're all in this together. Our goal is to got back up to a $1 billion company, and then we'll go from there, right? So Kevin, welcome. Kim, welcome. And our Florida neighbor, Windsor, welcome. Anunam, welcome. Gary, oh my gosh, and it goes on and on and on. I could just spend minutes. That would lead into a half an hour or so just welcoming everybody. And we want to recognize all of you because showing up is absolutely critical. You know, you can catch the recordings, but let's all face it, when recordings are available, how often do you actually go in and sit and watch the recordings? Like, even though we know they're there, a lot of people say, oh, yeah. I won't catch on the live. I'll get the recordings. And what's really important is to set schedules and work around the things that are going to help you grow, because you'll never get the same energy as you do in a live. Look at all this interaction going on. And I love the fact that you guys participate and you add value. Randy, welcome. So happy that you're here. You're such an incredible leader. Mary, welcome. And Chris Arthurs, hey, there's our Canadians. Good to go. So welcome, everybody.
It's certainly a pleasure to have you with us here. And you guys keep popping in and just keep sharing where you're from as we're progressing. Now, here's something that also Tammy did mention earlier is you guys really, your contribution is more important than you realize. When you share some of your thoughts, often you will complement or add to what we're doing or saying from your point of view. And we really do value that. And if I missed one of your comments, please don't think that I didn't want to put your comment on. Again, I do look for relevancy, but sometimes we get into our segments. And so we don't get distracted. We might overlook some of your comments. So I apologize in advance if this occurs. Now, today's training is a very important training. As a matter of fact, that happened that's before we started the African market. That was back in 2012, 2013, 2012, maybe even 2011, 2010. And Tammy and I were saying, what training can we do that can reflect how did we get to where we are in network marketing with our business? How can we do this? What can we talk about? And then so Tammy and I started sitting down and reflecting on all the things that we do. And as a matter of fact, what I came up with, it may look like a boring picture. And trust me, I'm looking for something to replace this, but that
Chris
really represents
futuristic.
Well, it really represents a solid foundation.
Yeah.
I mean, this bridge will definitely last the test of time because of the strong foundation over water. So the fact here, folks, is if you want your business to thrive, to deal through the poachers and the jumpers and the people that get discouraged and the people that can't see past their limitations, or when you start getting into momentum, how do you stay in momentum? How do you keep momentum? Because recruiting people, that's stage one, which is the most important when you begin. But after you've recruited people, what do you have as an ecosystem to keep people on board? One of the reasons that we chose to participate into these trainings on Saturdays, and I'm grateful that Joel, Mike, and Eve has asked us to participate more, kind of on a regular, serious manner with this, is because we know what this will do for you. But very important is you need to show up for class. It's unfortunate that we only have 38, 40 people here today, because that's the kind of training that will propel you to have the success that you desire. So I hope you're ready for this. So Tammy, I'm going to pass this over to you to list some of the principles, the 12 principles that we're going to be covering on this session today.
Absolutely. And take a screenshot of this, you guys. Like Chris said, we sat down and we said, what was it that contributed to from the foundation, from the fundamentals to where we ended up getting? And we've done this twice in our career, and we're doing it with Got Back Up. So we follow the same principles, and those principles are going to create huge momentum in your teams if you follow them. And then, of course, the most important one is every time we open a market, we showed up with our attitude training. Chris, we got to do the attitude training with this group, because that is so important. So we're going to go through some simple things about each one with you, but we're going to go through the attitude training, how to build trust, the importance of trust, inspiration. People need to be inspired. People need to know that they're part of something bigger than themselves. That's unity, right? Creating that culture within the organization, and not just in your organization, but overall the company. That's what Chris is talking about. All of you may not be part of the same team, but you're contributing in the chats and the comments to give value to other people. And maybe one thing that you're going to say is going to change everything for that person. So duplication, oh my gosh, duplication. And of course, we got the core value thing figured out now. So, we've got congruency. Oh my gosh, congruency has really solidified the growth that we've had over the years. Effective communication, that is critical. Mentoring, people need to be mentored. We're being mentored. We spend thousands and thousands of dollars to be mentored. People say, why do you keep putting money out to be mentored? You guys are mentors. Because we also need to learn, grow, and evolve. Okay, so micromanaging versus leading. This one, Chris, is so critical. And of course, incentives, recognition. People will go over the moon to be recognized for the efforts that they put in. And events always build belief. And we're at the beginning of all of this, you guys. Wait for the first event. It's going to be so exciting. And then gratitude. Every single morning, all day long, evening, always being grateful that you had this opportunity. Somebody introduced you to Got Back Up, and what has transpired over the time that you've been in here so far.
Totally agree, Tammy. Totally agree. And so let's start with the attitude. Why did we come up with this? What's interesting is over the years, Tammy and I have been full-time in network marketing. At least 28 years. Yeah. At least 28 years. I think we're more than that, but I'll be
a little bit longer. Yeah, not me.
Yeah, I think so. And I see this all the time. I see teams that starts and they start growing, and then unfortunately ego kind of fall into the equation that unfortunately ruffle feathers that will cause disturbance within the growth of an organization. So let me cover some of the things that we've covered when we went to Ghana back in 2013. We were invited to do an event there. And the very first thing that I did, and I explained to the 12 leaders, it's really interesting when we talk about the gospel with the 12. Anyway, let me go back to my point. So sometime I'm ADD, folks, forgive me. So what happens here is attitude was, I said, I want to share with you what I have learned, because I don't want you guys to go through what I know is going to happen. And despite that, some challenges did happen, but it was not as severe as I've seen in other markets, like as I've seen in the Philippines, for example. We did the same thing there, but at the time we didn't go through the attitude training. We just started training people on the duplication process, but we didn't talk about the attitude. And your attitude is the aroma of your heart. The way you feel will come across when you speak to your upline, when you speak to your downline, when you speak to the corporate executive. You never, never, never should lose sight of respect, ever. It is critical to always show respect for the people above you that are feeding you, and for the people above that are within your organization that are also feeding you, right? So towards the network marketing profession, very important is also that you believe that you can. Most people come into this business wishing, hoping, praying that they're going to make it. But the belief is not there. You need to work on your belief. If your belief is not there, you need to educate yourself, because this industry could set you free. But again, if you do your homework, sitting down watching Netflix and Amazon Prime is not going to cut it. It's okay to have some distraction because you need to from time to time to relax. But folks, you need to spend time where it matters, right? Making a difference for others. God backup is making a difference for others. Do not compromise righteousness. Oh, I'm going to sponsor these people in my team because they're complaining because they don't want to work with that leader. I'm going to take them my team so I can increase my volume. What do you think this will cause? It creates cancer within organization, within the company. Teamwork and respect. I touched on that on the aroma of your heart. You got to respect above and below, sidelines. It's very important. And the other thing that is very important is adjust versus react. There's constant changes that occurs. Why do change occurs? Because inflation change. The planet is constantly in a changing rotation. A company can never be exactly the same that you started 10 years ago. There will always have to be adjustments to be able to stay at flow, to be able to keep moving forward. And when these changes are presented, adjust. What do I need to learn? What do I need to do? What do I need to modify to be able to adjust so I can maximize this and not complain, well, who moved my cheese? I was used to that cheese. My cheese was there. It's not there anymore. Who moved it? That's not going to work for me. Well, unfortunately, these folks are going to be left behind. You constantly have to thrive and move forward. So adjust versus reacting, and keep learning and reevaluating your business. Because what you did prior to 2020, I assure you, will not stand tall in the way we do business today. Every one of us have made some adjustments. And if you didn't, well, there will be a time when you will have to. So important is to keep learning, keep evolving, so you keep moving forward. And I'm going to read a comment from Thomas Jefferson. Now, remember, folks, that this is in the 1920s or so, right? So at the time, we didn't have this equal weight between men and women. So just bear with me as I'm reading his quote, right? Nothing can stop the man with the right mental attitude. That should say individual. But nothing can stop the man with the right mental attitude from achieving his goal. Nothing on earth can help the man with the wrong mental attitude. Instead of word man, just put individual. That will be more politically correct today. But I wanted to keep it as it was because that's exactly how he said it in those days. So the fact, folks, is if you think you can, you will. If you think you can, if you think you can't, you're right also. So be mindful of what you say to yourself and what you repeat to yourself, because it will be manifesting into your reality. Be very mindful of that. Every single morning, I tell myself, today is going to be an amazing day. My business is thriving. My income is growing every single day. I know that sounds silly, but the power of the mind, do not underestimate it. You have no idea how powerful you are, but you need to believe. There's a training that we dedicated only on that, and it's part of the Success Cycle series that Tammy and I have been conducting, which eventually we want to create a training program that has what we call the Success Cycle series, which you've heard a lot of little segments, but we want to put that in a more professional manner. The point is, attitude is the very first training we do so we can set the foundation. Back to you, Tammy.
And don't we actually have to adjust that attitude all day long? Because you guys know we're human beings, right? So you have to pay attention. I really focus as much as I can in my day in being in the moment, because that's where I have my power. When I'm in the moment, I can make an easy switch. Sometimes you're going to say something, and then all of a sudden you really catch yourself, and then you got to change the word or change the phrase, change the energy, whatever it is, so that you can get back into that mindset of being a winner. Just having that amazing day where you're attracting amazing people into your life. All this energy is coming to you no matter what. You guys have to understand this. Energy matches energy. It's coming to you. So might as well make it amazing and attract amazing people into your life, amazing people into your business, and just be that magnet of amazing attraction. Okay, so going into the trust factor, this is absolutely critical. How many times in your life, when you think about it, that you could have done things better and you had lost some trust with people that you really care about, and you apologize, you try and get that back, but sometimes it's not easy to repair. Not everybody is as forgiving as you might be, right? So it's so important to have that foundation of trust when you're building your organization, when you're prospecting. Keep it real. Don't make up stuff that's not real, because it'll always bite you in the butt. Just be real with people. Be honest, be ethical, be real, be that person that is trustworthy. Okay. And then you'll see you'll attract that into your life anyways. I get goosebumps when I think about that, because it takes years to build trust. You guys know that. And just one thing could happen. And in that second, you can break this forever. And you don't want to go there. Constantly, you need to be reminded, I need to be a trustworthy person. I need to be ethical. I need to be honest with people. And I'm a servant. That is the best way to explain it. When you're self-serving, it's not good. But when you're constantly thinking of others and serving, guess what you're doing? You're building trust within the organization. In turn, you're going to have a thriving business over time, because that's going to build up. Okay. And trust the process too. We always add that, trust the process, because there's always hiccups. There's always bumps in the road when you're starting something new, and you can't get hung up on this stuff. It's called life, right? It doesn't matter whether it's business or life. You're always going to have the bumps. Always, always, always. So what can you do that's going to get you over that? I love that, Randy. All faith, zero fear. Faith and fear just don't come together, right? So it's important to be strong in that and trust the process. Everything will always turn out. So keep going towards moving towards your goals, moving towards your dreams, and lifting people along the way. Mind you, you can't lift people who don't want to be lifted. You guys know what I'm talking about. You can't drag anybody across the finish line that doesn't want to go across the finish line. You got to love them where they're at, and you got to care about them. They got to know that you care about them, but you keep on going. Okay, I know I'm adding some stuff here, Chris, but these are just really important fundamentals to build something so strong and trustworthy.
I totally agree with that. And in fact, Gary, I kind of appreciate this comment, because as a matter of fact, we did a training. I forgot what we called it. I don't know if we did it. He forgot backup, but there's a four core.
Yes.
I think we called it a 4 core beliefs, and
Yes.
and you hit it right on
It's in the book
target.
too.
Yeah, yeah, it's part of the book also that we wrote there. But you see, that's very, very important you understand. Now, again, I want to remind you that what we're doing here is that we're giving you principles, a higher level of understanding of what you need to be aware of to create a solid foundation within your organization and your business. The other one is inspiration. I can tell you right now, being a North American, living in North America, that applies for Canada and the United States and many other markets, but that's the market we live in. We need inspiration. People need to be inspired. This is probably one of the reasons why the movie industry is going so big. People are gravitating towards anything that's going to give them a sense of inspiration. That is so important. And, you have to help people see beyond what they see at the moment. This is really, really important that you get this. In your team, all of you have sponsored people. And I'm also guilty of this. How much time have you spent reaching out to all the people you brought into your business and see how they're doing? Because if you're not inspired by the possibility of this venture, I assure you that your leadership will not either. And it gets thinner and thinner as you go down the organization. The fact here is every time we present, we always try to give you a segment of inspiration of the possibilities. When you look at what Dropbox has accomplished without paying a dime to its consumers, just by giving space, it took them 7 years to get into momentum. We're not even a year old yet. And we're already about 47,000 members. We're just at the infancy of growth. And I assure you that the people that begin in a company often will not be the one that's going to be around to see the growth and the possibilities. There's always going to be a change. So don't be alarmed when people leave. It's this human nature. What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on your goal and the dream and the possibility and the vision of where this can be? Or are you kind of the giraffe that looks around and always look to see what's wrong somewhere else? Where's the grass greener? Until you stand on that grass, realize, there's dry spots there too. Every opportunity requires work, discipline, and problem solving. Running away to another deal is not going to solve this. The same problem will occur, I assure you. It might be exciting for a month, 2, maybe 6 if you're lucky. And then you're up to the next flower. And that's what most people do in this business. And it's unfortunate. And that's the reason why they never gain. I know many of you have heard the popcorn story, but a popcorn takes about 2 minutes. In the first minute, that's half the time, nothing. In a few seconds into it, pop starts coming in, people coming in. And 30 seconds at the end of the term, that's when the pops are popping in. But most people have left within the first minute, if you understand the analogy, what I'm sharing with you. That's what happens in our industry. What we have is a no-brainer, an absolute no-brainer. It's a tool that everyone needs. And whatever challenges you're facing, we'll figure it out. It's called evolving. We have a CEO that is committed to make sure that everything runs perfectly. The communication is excellent. So there's an open form communication. So you have to inspire your leaders on the possibilities opposed to kind of agree with the negativity that may be going on. Help them see beyond what they can see in the moment. I'm telling you, that will change your life.
Absolutely. That also applies in your prospecting, because when you connect with people, often if they don't know you that well, or the trust factor is not, the word no is just so common, right? But if you get to know people and you inspire them, I'm telling you, you can move people. You can switch them around like so easily if they know you genuinely care about people. That's all people are looking for. Somebody who genuinely cares and wants to help them get to where they're not at right now. And if you can do that, you're going to turn around a lot of prospects. And that takes practice and time when you're new in the industry. It's building up your muscle, toughening your skin, because you're going to get, people that are going to, they're not shutting you down. They're actually just saying no to the opportunity. Maybe they had a bad experience. It could be many things. But when you inspire them and get to know them, and they get that feeling that you're a really good person, they're gonna jump in. So work on that, you guys. Constantly work on yourself. Okay, the first circle in this business is ourself. We got to work on that constantly. Unity. Oh my gosh, unity. It's all about unity. Where there's unity, there's prosperity. We all know that. When people unite, they come together with a common mission, a common goal, and they work on, especially in our profession. We do campaigns, we do incentives, we have fun with it, we cheer each other on, no matter whose team was on whose team. At the end of the day, it's got back up, right? It's helping people get to the next level. So team unity and team chemistry is by far more important than talent. I've seen in my years in this industry, I've seen more educated, talented people that just never got it. It was never about that. It was about serving. It was about helping people grow. It's getting into the dirt and not telling people what to do, but just get into it with them and dig, to help build that foundation so strong. People need support. They need that. They need to know that they're part of something bigger than what's going on in their household, because sometimes it's not positive in the household. And you got to be that person that's going to make that difference in that household. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. When the support is not there, you need that community. You need to be around that. You need these training sessions. You need these opportunity calls. Even if you don't have guests, show up, because you need it. You need to be around this community and creating unity. You need it. That's what's going to keep you flying with your vision and your mindset, everything.
And that note, Tammy, I totally agree with you that there is prosperity and unity. We've seen this over and over and over. The teams that respect each other, that support each other, that are serving each other. It's crazy how much income they eventually get there. The income is a byproduct. It's a byproduct of this. So always remember that if there's conflict or situation, that stuff will impact your check negatively. Always, never fails. The whining and the complaining and all of this stuff, you want to dilute this garbage. It's so important. And never take sides. I know we've covered that in other sessions. Never take sides. Always be objective. Bring the parties together so both parties feel safe with you, that you're not taking one side over the other, because often there is a misunderstanding. It's often a miscommunication or misinterpretation of what's going on. With deeply, it's not really happening that way, but interpret it in a certain way. And this is what's going on. My God, if our governments can get that, we wouldn't have any wars. It's all ego. When there's prosperity in the world and unity, let me rephrase that. When there's unity in the world, there is prosperity. This is what's important right now. And this starts in your family, in your homes, and then in your business, and then the collaboration you have with the company executives and your upline, your downline, and so forth. Unity. Unite. There's prosperity and unity, I assure you. You will see that the moment these wars comes to an end, you're going to see the economy thrive again. Mark my words. There is prosperity and unity. Here's another point that's really important. Duplication. That is the beating heart of your organization and your business. So remember we talked about the success cycle? This here, I should put here success cycle series in the center, is start with your personal why. What's your everyday statement? What matters to you? What's your reason for living? Ask yourself that. What am I doing here? What am I contributing? What do I do? You might be surprised on what you contribute. And just that alone might inspire you. Or you may realize maybe I should find some direction. Maybe I should get some books and educate myself in certain areas so your voice can be heard because you have such an important message that no one doesn't hear because you just don't communicate it. Whatever that may be. What is your everyday statement? Why are you doing this? And then we talked about the attitude training. Because if the attitude is not in check, remember the attitude is the aroma of your heart. If your attitude is not in check, it will affect everything else around you. And then we get into the money-making activities, building your lists, which we did last week, I think. And then prospecting, the art of prospecting. We also did a few weeks back. Learning how to invite, learning how to follow up, utilizing third-party credibility, which is another form of follow-up to validate what you're saying. And that circle keeps repeating. Very, very important. So you want to duplicate the core skills in the Got Back Up opportunity presentation is absolute essentials. The Wednesday presentation that our CEO does is critical for your business. Joel brings a lot of insights, a lot of things that we don't know of that he's working on. Our presentations is the standard duplicatable presentation that everyone should be doing, at least within the same ecosystem, if I'm talking, because I know everybody may have a different twist on, but again, you want to keep things similar. Otherwise, your associates are going to be confused if they hear, remember, these are online. Anybody can go anywhere. They can see this one, they see that one, they see that one, and they're all confused. If you want growth, we'll talk about that, the congruency in a moment here. But this is really, 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 really important. Your duplication. What do you want to duplicate within your organization? And another form of duplication, Tammy, I'll turn this over to you. We spent quite a bit of time talking about it. I want to, first of all, thank all the folks that work with us on this. This is so critical. And I know that lastly, we spent some time with Randy to kind of work on some of the details. And I really appreciate you, Randy, for spending time with that. And also there was Ann Turnbull, and it was Dr. Keoway, and then Enionam, and Tammy and I, and Joel and Eve, and and other leaders.
Walter brought this.
I'm sorry, Walter and of course Walter
and Sylvia
and Sylvia, which actually originated the concept. Based on the description I was telling you, what we need to focus on the core rank. So back to you, Tammy.
Yeah, so we brought a lot of contribution into this, and which is important. We need to take time to lay this out, because this is what's going to be duplicating, right? So what is the core rank? And Chris and I have always built our business on core rank. What can the average person who's busy or even new, what can they do where they would stretch a little bit, but would make a difference at the end of the month in their income, to add into their whatever they're already bringing into their family when it comes to income. So usually it's the 250 mark. If people could make an extra 200 to 500, then those people are going to stay, and they're going to be able to teach people how to do it because they did it. Right. So it's to build the foundation through core rank a strategy. And that's what we all came up with, and how it's going to work, and the layout and all of that. So, and it's a 1, 2, 3, and basically 4 is duplicate. So it's to keep it simple. It's got to be simple. And so here you go, guys. It's stay active. Obviously, you want to stay active. You want to earn income. You stay active. And that's an easy part, because we're all saving our memories, creating folders, doing great things with the Got Back Up service. And some are just expanding on that and doing the VIP because they want to make more, but they want to leverage. And I'm learning the email marketing system. I never knew this stuff before Got Back Up. So the VIP package has helped me to be able to do more in this. And step 2 is to enroll your first 2 people. Okay, so one on the left, one on the right. Doesn't matter which one you're doing it first, one on the right, one on the left, as long as they're one on each side, right? Because with the binary, you've got the 2 and 4 creates a cycle. And then step number 3 is to target and get 5 more people, get 5 people. You're enrolling 3. Chris, I can't see. I'm not it's
Yeah,
quite
it's okay.
small.
Basically enrolling 3 more to get a
3.
total of 5.
Yeah, so you got your 5, then you got 3. Yeah, yeah. Do you have the second diagram or no?
No,
Okay, but there is that on the boards, and maybe you can put that up there, Chris, the boards link.
that's okay.
'Cause we're not,
Another day, Tammy. But at the end of the
yeah,
day, what's happening is I wanted to keep this simple and not complicate
yeah,
things. That if every single one of you here on the call, I'm seeing 74 to 72 people on the call. Okay. If every one of you here have not done this, do number 2. Sponsor one person on your left side, one person on your right side that are paying their $10 a month. That's not hard to do. Every single one of you. The moment you do that, your income will start growing. And if you have a team that's doing that, the volume will start growing. Your income will grow. And number 3, what it means is, okay, now that you sponsor your 2, find 3 more to have a total of 5 people. You want to have at least 5 people that are paying their $10 a month. And if everybody does that, and number 4 is just implements duplicating 1, 2, and 3, by adding the income you will receive on the first way we get paid, which is direct recruiting. The second one you get paid, which is a 25% matching check from your direct sponsors. And then you total up just these. It will give you close to, and maybe even above, depending if they paid for the year or they added the VIP package. All of that will contribute, and you will earn that $250 and up. But for you to do this every month, your team has to also do that. Not just you. Your team has to do the same thing. That's what number 4 is so important. And the moment you create this culture within your business, your volume will grow like the popcorn story. But remember, the first minute and a half, if you're discouraged because nothing really happened within the first minute and a half, and you walk away looking for another deal, thinking it's going to get better, which may be $1,000 to get started, $600 or $200 to get started, not $10, right? You'll realize that it's very hard. You got something here that's not hard to do, but if you want to thrive, you can't do it alone. You have to duplicate this within your organization. That's what this represents, your core rank. You reach the $250 plus. Your downline does the same thing. They reach the $250 plus. Your volume will grow. And this does not include the binary income. Number 3, that's your retirement. This is your passive income from the fruit of your labor in doing this duplication and doing 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And I know that Joel is working on some things right now that are just going to blow your mind, folks. Blow your mind. Stay the course. And the other thing here, and we touched on, Tammy, right, is congruency. First of all, you want ultimate clarity of the message. That's why if you have 20 different presentations, one has 74 slides and the other one has 40 slides, and this one has 90 slides because they have all these extra things that they want to communicate because they feel they want to. The problem with that, even though it might be a good message, you're creating the breakage of the duplication cycle. And that breakage of the cycle will affect your income. You will struggle. You'll never make past $200-300 a month if that's how you think. You want to make the tens of thousands of dollars a month and above, you need to accept this concept of congruency. Clarity of the message, that you're committed in delivering the message. Even if you don't feel like it, you do the job, you do the work, and you're consistent at it. That's congruency. That's why if you look at social media, you keep hearing this. If you want to be successful in social media, you got to be consistent in sharing the same message at the same time on a regular basis. Of course, you want to have some value in your message. You don't want to just blabber around, but give some value. But every single time, if you choose to do it every day or once a week or twice a week or 3 times, whatever, you consistently, even if you don't feel like it, you stay with it. Everybody teaches you that. Well, there's no difference in this business. That's the congruency that's going to get you to move forward. Here's another one that's super important, Tammy. Would you agree?
Oh my gosh, yes. Effective communication. Oh, we've dealt with stuff that in the past where the communication just wasn't there, and people wonder if there's no communication. I love what Joel's doing. He's always communicating with the field. He's always sending out messages. Very, very important from a company. And field, I mean, our job as leaders is to create an environment where people can celebrate, communicate, and get informed on what's coming up, whether it's an event, a training call, the opportunity sessions that are going on. People need to be informed, so that communication has to be there in the groups that you're creating. And we always highly recommend, to be part of one big group. We have the Telegram, got back up, the big group where people come in and support and answer, especially the new people, their questions. Some people are frustrated, so we want to make sure that we keep the environment as positive. And not everybody's on the platform all the time. So when we got different leaders that are bringing some value and directing people, and I love it because I think that we're doing really, really well with these platforms, and we're still new, you guys. So this is fantastic. So there's a lot of experience coming into creating this communication platforms from different leaders from all over the world. So I love it.
I totally agree. And folks, if you came late, not to worry. Remember, this call is recorded, so it's on the YouTube channel of God Backup. So just go back and listen to it and pass it on to your downline. I'm telling you, we're giving you the nuggets that got us to make millions of dollars in this business. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. This is the real hardcore stuff we're giving you here. It's up to you to really apply it. So communication, absolutely critical. It's the foundation of your business. The other thing we talked about is mentoring, right? Successful people never reach their goals alone. Some of the best golfers in the world have mentors. Some of the best hockey players in the world have mentors. Some of the best boxers in the world have mentors. Some of the best network marketers in the world have mentors. It's very important to follow guidelines. And my mentors were not people that I was making a phone call with on a weekly basis. There were people like Jim Rohn. Even the fact that he passed on, his philosophies and his trainings are still very valid. They are consistent. They're like gravity. That's a constant that won't change. If it's 100 million years ago or now, or 4 billion years ago or now. Gravity does not change. These are constants. So what happens is that there are some mentors out there. Just show up for their classes, buy their trainings, invest into their programs, learn from them. People think that Tammy and I are crazy to spend $30,000 a year for a mentor. We're doing this for a reason, because this investment has turned our small income into a massive income, even in tough times. So the fact here, folks, is mentoring is important. And that's what we try to deliver to you on Saturday. That's what we try to deliver to you. I say try because I know not everybody will show up here. But the fact here is, if you do show up, but don't just show up. If you show up alone, this comes from Joel Therrien, by the way. Joel, I got this message probably about 20 years ago when you used to send that. If you show up alone, you learn. But if you show up with your guests, you will earn what you learn. So my message here is, take these trainings, go through the Saturday trainings that we've been conducting. They're also on our board because I bring them on our board every week, so they're easy to point to. And then pass it on to someone who's brand new. Someone says, I'm very discouraged. I'm depressed. That's not working for me. We'll start listening to the training of people that have had success. And instead of complaining about your situation, apply the principles. Remember this popcorn story. I keep bringing this back. Don't expect change to happen because now you flip the switch. You understand that we're not light bulbs. Human beings take time to warm up. So the fact here is you want to keep showing up and you want to be consistent in showing up. And I'm telling you that if you do, I assure you that there will be an impact. Regardless what that impact will be, maybe it's not your income, maybe it'll be your own personal belief, maybe your personal growth. Maybe you're going to recognize things about yourself that you never recognized before. The people that Tammy and I have worked with and are not always been in our teams have had tremendous amount of success. Some comes from our experience, but some comes from our ability to see beyond, to help this person to see the possibilities in their future instead of the limitation that they may have based on their upbringing and their belief. This kind of mentoring is it's liquid gold. And if you can be around someone like that, don't miss the opportunity, because this could change your life, and not just your life, but the people around you that you love and care about. Mentorship is absolutely critical. Tammy, I know you touched on that. That's such an important aspect.
Yeah, I think about this, and this applies as a parent too. Mentoring our children, leading by example, all of that stuff. It applies in business, it applies in life. Micromanaging versus leading. Chris and I have always, even when I talk about our children, we don't feed our kids for the day. They need to spread their wings. We need to teach them how to fish so that they can take care of their families when the time comes. And of course, that's happening because we have 6 grandchildren. So guess what? They're leading by example and teaching their children things that they need to know so that when they grow up, in a job environment, right? We're so used to being told what to do by the manager, and the manager's always telling you what to do. In this business, it's a volunteer army. It's like you go from being an employee and then all of a sudden you're an entrepreneur, and you got to think for yourself. You got to follow, you got to do the work. You got to lead other people and not just tell people what they need to do. You need to be the example of what it takes to get there. And that's why I think a lot of people in this business, they tend to get unfocused and go elsewhere and think it's going to be better. And I shouldn't be laughing because it's not funny, but at the end of the day, I always say, we got to look in the mirror. What did you do today that moved you towards where you want to go in your goals? Right? So you need to lead, because if you're not leading, the people that are within your organization, they're not doing it. So until they learn to lead, people are not going to move forward. So lead. Don't tell people what to do. Be the example and do what needs to be done.
I totally agree, Tammy. That's absolutely dead on. Now, here's another one that's really important. It's called incentive and recognition. Now, I'm putting this here because these are some of the things that Tammy and I have done in our career, where we invited our top leaders into an amazing cruise. We bought 10 iPads to the first 10 people to reach a certain level. We bought watches. We bought Apple Air at the time for people that reached a diamond level. And again, whenever we spend money and invent it, and we not just rely on the company to always pay. We take portion of our income, basically the profit. Don't be careful that you don't dig into your savings unless you know what you're doing here, but be careful with that. That's not what I'm telling you in any way, shape, or form. What I'm saying is when you have a performing team and you start making money, I recommend for you to take a little bit of that profit and buy some toys, things that people appreciate. Once they reach a level, not if they just about to, They have to reach the level. There is no what if buts about it. Have to reach the level. And the fact here is, for example, copper. This is what you want your team to focus on. Now, these are big prizes. I'm not saying that you need. It's just that we had a very small time to convert this training to make sure that it fits for God Backup. And we need to think things through. But it could be just like a certificate at Starbucks. I mean, I love this. I would love it. Or Tim Horton if you're Canadian, whatever. Right? So the fact here is little things you can put into an envelope with a nice letter. Thank you for trusting me. I appreciate you. Whatever that is. This is what I'm talking about by incentive and recognition.
And if you live close by, Chris, I have to add this, because when you live close by, it's so important to connect with people.
Yeah.
Go out, spend some time with them and help them and guide them and work a plan with them. Obviously now we have the core rank. So just go through that with them. Maybe you can, do some calls with them. Who knows? You may be able to sign up a couple of people with them that they've already talked to while you're in that coffee shop or wherever you are. Take them out, do things, help them, inspire them, because that is going to go miles and miles and miles.
I totally agree, Tammy.
Big toys. Yeah.
So incentive and recognition, I would really focus right now for you. Some of you are brilliant thinkers. You have brilliant ideas that maybe you've never even considered implementing yet. I would work something around the copper.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever someone in your team reaches copper, do something. These are your personal. Don't expect your upline to do this for you. That's not how this works. It is your responsibility. It is your leader. And if you happen to be in a downline of an upline that brought you that's not doing this, please do not complain. What have you done for me lately? I've done this. This is not what I'm telling you to do. That's not professional. What I'm telling you is you as a leader, concentrate in your downline, not what have you done for me lately upline. That's not what I'm saying. Focus in your business and focus in your downline. And the people that are reaching copper, just make a promotion. Create a WhatsApp group, Telegram group, whatever that is for your own personal team. Bring all your personals in there. Hey guys, I'm throwing a promotion. Anybody who reaches copper, I'm doing this. It could be a certificate, right? That values what you would earn based on their production, right? Just be careful. Never empty the bank. It has to be part of your profit, not your savings. Okay. Always.
I got another idea, Chris. If you have a group of people that went copper that qualifying month, then you could bring in Joel. You could bring in some top leaders to celebrate them into a Zoom session and
Brilliant.
do a training where you could get them to duplicate that within the people that they bring in to just inspire them to go higher. Like there's so many things that people want that recognition. So if they know that there's going to be a special call just for the people who reach copper that month, then you're going to get lots of things. It doesn't have to be physical things all the time. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I hope you guys you're gonna act on some of those things that we're giving you. Here's something else. Now, God Backup isn't even a year old, folks. So you got to give it time to grow. So I needed to find a picture that it's kind of relevant to God Backup. We know the bronze is the very first achievement. So I found something where we had a bunch of our team, from the past. It says, here's a representation of what I'm talking about. See, event, build, belief. When someone of when your leadership gets recognized, which could be virtual, Tammy had a brilliant idea with reaching copper and have some kind of a recognition program that could be done. And these are things that we can talk about. And then you invite all the people from a certain date that have reached copper to be recognized and create some kind of an incentive that would give them the drive to get there. When people see themselves on stage, I'm telling you, that their level of belief just went 100 times up. And it's going to stay like that for a while. Events build belief. I cannot stress this enough. In every market that Tammy and I have worked, we had made sure that our leaders would be recognized based on their efforts, because we know what they will do for them and we know what the ripple effect this will do. Absolutely, absolutely critical. And Tammy, I know you and I really highly believe in that. That's the last principle. So I'm going to let you start. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's all about gratitude, being grateful every single day when you wake up, and put intentions out there of what you desire. Always be grateful at the end of the day for anything that came your way. You know, even the challenges, be grateful for those challenges, because you know what they do? They strengthen you. They build your muscle. Okay, so you know, just be grateful all the time. Be grateful when the troublemakers leave. Seriously, be grateful, because sometimes behaviors like that can destroy an organization. So I always say, you know, we just got to be grateful for the good and the bad, obviously, and just the fact that we're alive, and the fact that somebody made that phone call. Chris and I are grateful that Joel made that phone call to us, and I remember him saying that he was nervous to contact us. We've known each other for so many years, so we're so grateful that this opportunity came into our lap. And if Joel hadn't had the courage to give us a call, I know a lot of you that are live on this session here, none of you would even know about this. So you see how it happens, you guys, the power of building networks. It's amazing. Your lives are being changed right now. Our life is being changed. And so thank you, Joel. We really appreciate that phone call very, very much. Thank you.
Absolutely. And the fact, folks, is gratitude is the foundation of life. The more grateful you are for whatever has happened to you, just for breathing in the morning, for being alive, being grateful for every single moment, it will impact your life. Gratitude is such an important emotion that sends a very important, if you're into quantum physics, I mean, it is the human body, the human brain, the energy that it provides. And again, listen, folks, I'm Catholic. I'm open to everything, but at the end of the day, what I'm trying to get to for you to understand is gratitude is very important in your life. Be grateful. Be grateful for everything that comes your way. And the more you are conscious of that, the more of that will come into your life. If every day you complain about something and dwell in it, you will get more of that environment, because that's what you keep telling yourself. Gratitude is not just for being grateful for someone else to feel great about the fact that you're grateful about what they did for you. It's for you. Gratitude is so important. Tammy and I are very grateful for Joel. I respect Joel and Eve and Mike. They work hard and they deliver. And I'm telling you, Tammy and I are committed to do everything we can to help you see the big picture that they're providing. We're grateful for that. We're grateful for all the people that came into your life, to come into our lives, past and present. We don't forget about everything that's happened to us. The life that we're living today is due to the people in our social environment. And from that, we created an ecosystem. And we're grateful for it. Right, Tammy? Every day we wake up, and I mean, maybe lately, not every day, but we're human beings too, right? We see what's going on around. I'm not blind to what's happening. but train yourself and force yourself to be grateful. I'm telling you, even if you don't feel like it will change your life.
I think
Gratitude is
about
the
the things,
foundation.
Chris, that we've been taught from some leaders that are not in the same companies. We met them years ago, and they drilled some things into our heads. Both Chris and I remember that conversation at his house, Chris, in Toronto, and he said, you know, always remain humble, always remain a student, always be
Never forget
grateful,
where you come from.
never forget where you come from. And time, this is another big one, you guys. Pay attention to this one. Time will promote you or expose you. It never, ever fails. When you do good things, when you do good deeds, it always comes back. When you do bad things, it always comes back. Always. So always remember that. These are the four things, Chris. I think when you and I were growing in this industry, we really, really, he drilled that into us. We really took it to heart. And we teach this all the time. Yeah.
So everybody, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend. We want to thank you for being with us here. And just hit that like button. Let us know how we're doing. Put your comments in there. You know why? Because others that maybe don't feel like watching things like this, based on your comments and your feedback, they say, maybe I should check this out. It's helping us, helping you. So have yourself a wonderful rest of your weekend. And again, thank you, everybody. And really appreciate you, all of you, and especially our CEO being here and commenting on our training. Really appreciate knowing how busy you are. So everybody, have yourself a great one, and bye for now.
Have a great weekend.